It's Levac and Gaz on 104.5 The Team.
So it is not Levac. Levac is off today. It is Gaz and Zach By here with you, 104.5 The Team and 104.5theteam.com. Zach and I are a little bit younger than Levac. We're a little bit younger than Roger. We just, it's just pointing out the facts. Our birth certificates say something
Not
different.
young, just younger.
Younger, that's right.
I'm almost
that's
30, guys.
The big 3-0.
Almost, this spring.
But even though you're almost the big 3-0, you and I both have, I guess we're in touch with our social media side. We know how to do Twitter and
We're
Facebook.
encouraged to.
But as great as that is sometimes to be connected with your favorite athletes, your favorite broadcasters, sometimes they are not held accountable for what they say. Sometimes I think we just need to defend certain things we say on social media, and that's where we go right now for a little thing we call Defend Your Tweet. The rules are pretty simple. At By's Line is Zach's Twitter. My Twitter, at Tom Gaz, TOMGOZZ. And you can just go back to our Twitter accounts and see what we've tweeted, and we just have to defend it. I'm going to go first, because we kind of hit on this a little bit in the update. At By's Line tweeted this on Saturday. UAlbany 3-0 lost to Richmond in instant classic. If you were here, you won't be forgetting this one anytime soon. UA lost, still passed the test. Defend your tweet.
I thought that it was a great showing by the university, and rarely will you hear me be complimentary in a loss because it's just an inherent truth. You play to win the game, not take away positives in a loss. But there was way too much to take away on the air of positivity from that game. The attendance over 9,000, the fact that it was the longest game in school history, you had a chance to knock off the highest ranked opponent you've ever beaten in school history, and Richmond just barely skated by in triple OT. But I thought it was a real test that Albany passed, despite the loss.
I'm also impressed that was less than 140 characters. That seemed like a really long tweet. Very impressive using the UA and the UAlbany and sneaking it all in there. Yeah. Well done, Mr. Bob.
Yeah. All right, here's one from at Tom Gaz. This is from last night in relation to the presidential debate. Do the right thing, Lester Holt, who is the moderator. Do the right thing, Lester Holt, and lead with a question about Harambe. Hashtag debate night. And if you don't know who Harambe is, you're well within reason. But that is the gorilla that was put down for dragging the little boy off down in Florida.
Here's the problem. Like, everything on the internet, it's now crossed over to College Game Day. If you watch College Game Day,
yes.
That's all it is. It's just signs of Harambe. So not only had this story reached the news, then it hit the sports world. I'm like, we're just one step away from it being in politics now. Like, people would have enjoyed it. As crazy as these things have been with the political debates and everything, I just wanted to see it come out of the gates with something like everybody could talk about. And it was that great gorilla. I'm asking for Harambe t-shirts, by the way.
I saw the
t-shirt so bad.
On game day. Is Harambe elite?
Harambe would have loved game day.
The internet just won't let things die.
It may never. You know what? If Harambe replaces crying Jordan when it comes to sports memes, I'm good with it.
Yes.
I'm very good with it. You actually use, I guess, what they call a GIF, a GIF, on one of your tweets from yesterday. You tweeted out, well, Buffalo Bills back from the dead with The Undertaker sitting up. Defend your tweet.
Yes. Well, first of all, Undertaker is pretty much applicable to every situation in life. He's the common denominator. So I just figured I'd throw him in there. The Bills were written off. They were 0-2. I was discussing on the morning show, Big Board Sports, and I heard you guys here in the afternoon discussing whether Rex Ryan was going to have a job throughout the season. And here they are. They won 3 consecutive games. Not only have they won, they've been an underdog in each of the games. And not only have they won as an underdog, they've won by double digits in each of those games. Sometimes it looks like the Undertaker's going to get pinned, and then he sits up. You get the choke slam. You get the Last Rider tombstone. You get the eyes rolled back. You get the tongue, the Druids.
Stay alive, Buffalo. Do it for the Bills Mafia. They cannot have you die right before the postseason again this season. Don't do it to the poor Bills Mafia.
All right, Tom Gaz, at Tom Gaz on Twitter. You tweeted on September 1st, just think, in 1 week when the NFL is back, we get to see more of this guy again with a picture of freaking Papa John. Defend your tweet.
Papa John is on a lot of commercials.
And
how excited was everyone last year at the end of the Super Bowl? Peyton Manning, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, wins his second Super Bowl. Everyone thinks he's going to retire. And sure enough, there's old Papa John. Papa John grabbing that hunk. J.J. Watt, arguably the best player in the NFL. You know who he's partnered with on television commercials? Papa John. It just seems as if Papa John owns it. Like, I watch the Red Zone, so I don't get commercials. But from the people who do have to deal with commercials, they have to deal with Papa John. So luckily I was being a little sarcastic in that, but I felt for the fans of football that had to see Papa John's face plastered all over the NFL product again.
Like associated with greatness. Like Papa John, he's like proximity to greatness is like very like Phil Spector-esque.
Surprisingly, he has not sponsored either Big Board Sports or Levac and Goss yet.
No, we'll put a call in.
Yeah, we'll see what he's up to. You tweeted this out on September 8th. No, I'm going to do the September 10th one because I'm actually interested in this. I don't know what your answer is on this. Quote, "It kind of irritates me when I watch a famous guy do an interview and he never makes eye contact with the other professional interviewing him." Defend your tweet. This is like Professor Bai here teaching the young kids in the capital region how to be a professional.
Well, I think this is applicable to not just famous people, but just to people in general. Like here, and I was watching something on television, and this interviewer is interviewing this professional athlete, and the athlete just literally never made eye contact with the person talking to them. And I think a lot of times athletes get caught up in what they do, but the fact of the matter is that reporter who was doing the interview not only went to school for that and grinded through internships and grinded through part-time jobs and crummy pay and has overcome so much to get to that point, to be in that position, to interview that athlete, and then to not get the human interaction that I would give anyone who's trying to talk to me. It doesn't matter if it's the janitor who cleans up or Jake, our boss. You give someone that mutual respect, and I think it's just an unconscious thing sometimes from these guys who have been in privilege for so long and who have been catered to for so long to them to not appreciate the person who's sitting there interviewing them. I don't like it.
That's I like that. I like everything you just said there, especially because it feels like somewhat like a chore for the athlete. They're like, oh, I have to do the interview. Oh, do I have to talk to this person? They're treated like babies. They don't want to do it. But you're right, Zach. Like, this is a reflection of your personality. When you get a microphone in front of you, whether it's a post-game press conference or a piece or a fluff piece or whatever they're trying to do to help you, like most athletes don't understand, the microphone is there to make you look good. A lot of people feel like they're under attack when they have the microphone. It's always not the case for every athlete interview.
Right, and you know who's great at this and does a great job of always paying respect to the person interviewing them? It's the biggest star there is in professional sports. LeBron James always goes out of his way to make direct eye contact at least once or twice during the course of an interview, no matter who's interviewing them. And if LeBron James can do it, then everyone along the line should be able to give that person respect.
I like that. It's Defend Your Tweet, Zach Bai and Gaz here with you, going on social media and trying to figure out what in the world sometimes we're talking about.
Okay, yeah. Here's a big question for me. Back from the summer, July 25th, all right? Peeling back the onion here, your Twitter account.
Oh, God.
You tweeted, Sasha Banks, hashtag GOAT. Defend your tweet.
I'll tell you what. So Sasha Banks is the cousin of Snoop Dogg, and she is now currently the WWE Women's Title Champion. There is no one I can compare her to. Is she like the Darren Sproles / Cam Newton? If we had to do an athlete comparison, like Darren Sproles is 5'6", but can still somehow be in the league and score touchdowns. Cam Newton is like 6'6", 260, but can be a running back, wide receiver, and quarterback. This female wrestler is doing like flips, pins, submissions. Like back in the day in the 90s, female wrestling was not that.
No, Alondra Blaze wasn't doing that.
No. It was
Bull Nakano wasn't doing that.
It was also a lot closer to Jerry Springer the days of Stone Cold Steve Austin The Rock. This girl is so much better than anyone who's ever done it that I can remember. She's amazing. Amazing wrestler.
First of all, you're tweeting about women wrestling. All right? just on face value, I'm out. Okay? But second of all, what the hell is wrestling thinking putting the women as the main event?
They're good.
Last week they finished. I know they're good, but that is one way to get me to switch away. They shouldn't be closing the show, guys.
That's Ric Flair's daughter in that ring. He's a big sports fan.
That's true.
Nature boy.
That's true. Woo. All right. Defend your tweet.
Oh, I got one more for you.
Okay.
I just see, I have to pick up on a segue when I hear it because this one involves Cam Newton. I just brought him up. You tweeted this on September 8th. Quote, "We're watching one of the great all-time players in NFL history in his prime. Drink it in." Hashtag Cam about Cam Newton.
Drink it in, man. Hey, listen, Cam Newton is going into Canton. Cam Newton is an NFL Hall of Famer. Cam Newton has already been awarded MVP. He's already led his team to the Super Bowl. He is already, not even halfway through his career, he's got the most rushing touchdowns for any quarterback in NFL history, okay? They're having a lackluster year, but don't be confused. When his career is over, all right, and he goes into the Hall of Fame, we will call him one of the great quarterbacks inherently because he'll be a Pro Football Hall of Famer. But we'll look back to these years when he was in his prime and say, yeah, remember that year when he destroyed the league when the Panthers were 14-2 and went to the Super Bowl? Like, remember those years when Cam was unstoppable? I don't like when we can't say what I said about Cam in the middle of their career. We have to wait until the whole body of work is done before we can evaluate what we see. Steph Curry's another one. We want to tell people why Steph isn't this and Steph isn't that. We're watching one of the best to ever do it. He happened to be in his prime. Don't let yourself wait till 10 years after he retires to admit to yourself that those were the years that he was at the peak of his powers. These are the years that Cam's at the peak of his powers.
So overall, Cam Newton, he's so different than everyone else. And that's what it is.
He's an anomaly.
No one can say, oh, he's like this or he's like that because he's 6'5", he's 6'6", he can run people over. That's why, 1 degree, people didn't want to give Cam credit. 2, there was still that contingency of people that thought when he was drafted out of Auburn, he was going to be a bust and never want to hop off of that. The third one is because they didn't win that Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos. People wanted to take shots how Cam left the interview and didn't finish it. That 2015 Panther team lost 2 games. They were blowing teams out all season long.
Literally dominated the league.
The one team they lost to, they finished the regular season 15-1. They lost to the Atlanta Falcons. They played them 2 weeks earlier. In their division, they played them 2 weeks later. That schedule is set up differently. That team could have been undefeated going against the Denver Broncos in that Super Bowl. I'm all out. I'm all out of defenses. I just got one more for me.
I have one more for you. Back from the summer when you thought no one was paying attention. There I was, lurking,
the
trolling.
Dead time in sports, and Zach Bye goes and finds it.
July 14th.
Oh, boy.
Damn. That new French Montana, a.k.a. Rob Hollenbach song is straight. And then you have a picture of a character from, what's that?
Is that Charizard?
Pokemon. That was a Pokemon and a French Montana take all in one in the middle of summer. Defend your tweet.
No sports broadcaster in the country is giving you that hot sports take with French Montana and Charizard. Quite like at Tom Goss, TOMGOZZ. It was a really good song, man. So
what song was it?
Oh, I don't remember it now. Like, it's in the summer. I can't remember the song.
He must have. It couldn't have been that Charizard, could it have?
DJ Supreme from Hot 99 looked like he was. We're talking about French Montana. DJ Supreme's
yeah, this is what we do at 104.5, the team DJ Supreme. Do your thing, baby.
So I really have a good defense on that. I mean, it was a really good song. I can't remember it now.
So in a nutshell,
you didn't give me the song of what it was.
Your Twitter account is Pokemon characters tweeting about women's wrestling and
hot sports takes.
And hot sports takes. Sizzling.
This is exactly why we have to have Defend Your Tweet, because sometimes I got to be put back in line.
I love it.
Zach Bye, thank you so much. We got a preview coming up. We got Major League Baseball postseason coverage coming up at 3:30. We'll get you ready for the games next. It is Goz and Zach Bye filling in for Levac on Levac and Goz right here on 104.5 The Team.